Summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, summertime. Honey, solen danser, du og jeg.
This is just a short note before we start the video with your sun sign Sagittarius. Remember that I always also make a weekly forecast for the collective level. This means that what's going on in the world around you is reflected in this report, whereas the sun sign report is more the week for you. Find it on the channel Maria in RainbowLand here on YouTube. You can see it after this report. Hello there, Sagis. Sister sign, I'm Aries. Hey, Sag. Well, so now it's your turn. And what do we have here? We have the sun in Gemini in your 7th house of relationships. So your relationship with other people is in focus. And also another thing going on is that you have Uranus, well, you also had that last week, in your 6th house of daily routines and patterns of what you're doing, like in Taurus, what you're doing in your day-to-day life. What can you have as something grounding you more so that you can get all of your brilliant ideas grounded? And you have a tendency of either you wanting to talk about it or other people want to interfere and talk with you about whatever you're doing, because you have Mercury there in your 6th house as well. And several different things are going on this week. You also have Mars there, over there, in your 3rd house. So communication-wise, it can be kind of like rash outbursts with that impulsive Mars there in the 3rd house. So maybe you should hold back a little bit until you're kind of like ready to ground your ideas. If there's something you don't want to share, if it's a good business idea, for example, because you want to materialize things now and say, yes, I know that, because I'm certain that you have been feeling disturbed in your money situation, because in your 2nd house of values, money, etc., you've had like the heavier planets running through, like one heavy planet for many years now, since 7 is Pluto, and now Saturn entered as well there in around the 20th of December 17. So the thing is for you that you really want to stabilize these things, but maybe now is not the time yet, because we have an opposition to Venus between your 2nd and your 8th house. And it's calling you to look upon what you really desire and really want to manifest in your life. And maybe you also just have to accept that you can live on a stone, because that's the way you are, really. You see life that is not all about the money. There's so many other things that you can have. But there's a tension between these two aspects. So you need to balance out, or let's just say find out what you're really passionate about. And then just try to manifest and little by little. The thing is that for you, Sagittarius, this month can be a really exciting month love-wise. But first you have to go through a couple of experiences where you're gonna doubt if it's even possible for you to to fall in love or re-fall in love, or like around the days around 25th of May can be very romantic, and your wishes may come true. And even if you're in a steady relationship, you can add energy to it around the 25th. You want things in your life, but you must open the true self-worth to it. Since we have Sun over there in your 7th house, relationship can change a lot for Sagittarius, because it's Gemini, and in Gemini there's a lot of movement, a lot of balls in the air. So for Sagittarius it can be a little hard to stay in the same relationship. So you kind of like need to have a partner that's the right one for you. So you need to look upon if you have the right partner in your life. And the thing is that with the Jupiter there in the 12th house, we are having a funny story, because between your 6th and your 12th house, there's something going on this week. Mercury is opposing Jupiter, and we already have Uranus there in the 6th. So it's actually about your health situation. and your day-to-day routines in general, this is something you have to come to terms with, that you actually have to focus upon, really grounding things in your life. You cannot just jump around from thing to thing. You really have to ground and get a steady routine with certain things, but in balance with your spiritual nature and what's going on in your spiritual life. Because it's kind of like realizing you're trying to build a new life, a new structure, and new routines. But Jupiter is reminding you that it wants you to restructure, build your day-to-day life, but to add a spiritual clarity to it. And since Jupiter is always multiplying wherever it goes with a lot of digits, or whatever you want to call it, like 5 times as much as what it already is, and it's in Scorpio in your 12th house, it's like, in the 12th house, we are talking about things that you didn't saw coming behind the scenes, things that you forgot was there that needs to be cleaned out, and it's big. It's something that you didn't do, that you need to let go of in order to be able to manifest this new structure in your life that can create the wealth in the long term that you've been trying to get in many ways in your life. So, you are the wiser one with all the answers. And you're kind of like sharing this with everyone else, like kind of like sometimes you feel like you're the wiser teacher that knows a lot of things, but like over the last years you've had Saturn going through, showing you where you weren't knowing it all. So now you kind of like have to admit to yourself that in fields where you were kind of bragging about that you were the teacher that knew it all, and you just people could just come to you if they wanted to know the truth. But now life is showing you that maybe there are these parts of yourself where you need to look deeper into it with the daily routine, where you actually dedicate yourself fully to these things that you say that you know so much about. And of course you do. I don't want to condescend you at all. It's just that you need to ground yourself a little more now with Uranus where it is. And in relationships, this can be a good month, as I said, around the 25th of May. Maybe a lucky day for you. I love my Sagittarius. I think you're awesome. I hope I'm not too rough with you in this report, because you are one of my favorite signs out of all of my 12 favorite signs. Of course, I love all signs, but Sagittarius, don't take it personally, but just take it as a way of improving your beautiful self. Lots of love, big hugs, and remember, don't follow trends, follow your heart. You're Modern Shaman Maria and RainbowLand checking out. Ciao. See you next week.
Summertime. Så du er min, og jeg er vild med dig.